there is a woman on TikTok that went viral for claiming to be Nicole Kidman's daughter. And saying that Nicole Kidman is her real mother and that she hid her under floorboards as a child. And obviously this is sensational and untrue. And in response, Nicole Kidman's legal team sent a cease and desist letter to that creator. The letter formally demanded that the TikToker stop spreading these lies about Nicole Kidman, and the lawyers say that this is misleading, it's false, and defamatory. Now, these statements were found on Instagram and TikTok, and I think it's important for people to note that a cease and desist is not the same thing as being served or being sued. It's rather an initial step, kind of like a warning that says, stop this now or we're gonna escalate this.
My own mother is suing me. Nicole Kidman is my mom. Everyone said that this was gonna happen, but I was just served these today. Let's take a look.
So that phrase served that she says in casual talk, it gets misused to describe this situation, but legally she wasn't served with a lawsuit at all. In fact, she was just asked to stop or to face potential legal steps. And then that creator went on to do an apology video stating that, this was just meant as some sort of joke and she didn't mean for it to get out of control. What I fear in the future is that we're gonna have a lot of people saying things like this on the internet, using the internet to spread these type of false allegations against people and literally set the, it's like on record now. Even if you didn't want to look this up, you could read this headline and think, wow, Nicole Kidman was hiding her child under a floorboard, if you didn't know anything about Nicole Kidman. And I think that this is really interesting because we see a lot of celebrity, they call it, or legal teas, tea, like they call it tea, but it's actually gossip. And these type of websites or these type of information that's put out there is so detrimental to people's careers. Now, some of it might be true. Some of it might be from legit people. I'd like to add that Nicole Kidman was born in Honolulu, Hawaii. Okay, she's American, while her parents were temporarily in the US for work, but she did grow up in Australia. And that's something a lot of people do get wrong about her. They're like, Nicole Kidman is an Aussie. She's an Aussie. Yeah, she might've been raised in Australia, but she's American. She was born in Hawaii. Nicole Kidman's dad was a doctor, a clinical psychologist, a biochemist, and an academic, and he was also a writer and a lecturer. He passed away in 2014 while visiting Singapore. And then her mom goes by Glennie, but her legal name is Janelle Ann Kidman, is a nursing instructor and member of the Women's Electoral Lobby in Australia, known for her activism and women's rights and health issues. They're all activists. Rich people they love philanthropic work, and they are all activists. And we all know she was married to Tom Cruise, the famous actor, from 1990 to 2001. And during their marriage, they did adopt 2 children, Isabella Jane Cruz, born 1992, and Connor Anthony Cruz, born 1995. These are, close in age, 3 years difference. They probably grew up very close. And here's a little tidbit of information that is kind of interesting. When I lived in the Valley, one of the people that was friends with my mom was a maid that worked for the Kidmans. And so we got a lot of intel and gossip from her that I don't want to go into right now. Just from that experience of knowing this woman that worked for her for the whole time she was married to Tom Cruise, is that they were good parents. Sorry to say it, guys. They were good parents. They really took care of those kids. And the lady that I'm talking about that worked for her was a Christian woman, kind lady, single mother, and I don't think she has any reason to lie. And she was treated really well during her time working there, at least as far as I know. Could she have gotten paid more? Probably. But, that's for her to say. I will just say, based on what I've heard and her and my mom talking, yeah, I think she could have gotten paid more. But overall, she was cared for. The work environment wasn't hostile. They seemed like great parents. Interesting, right? Anyway, so that's a little information. I don't think Nicole Kidman is the type to abuse children or anything like that. I just don't get that vibe from her. Do I think she sold her soul to Satan? In my opinion, yes, they all have to. They all have to. Have a great day. Think for yourself.